Hi, and welcome to Zoe Talks. This is a show where we discuss all things mental health. We focus on adolescents, the mental health industry, and the education industry. This is also the show where we want to talk about all things difficult. What are some of the burning questions on your mind that you want answers to? I'm Christina, I'm from Zoala, we're a tech startup company.
And I'm Joanna, I'm from wwyd, a youth counselling center.
And welcome to our first episode of Zoe Talks.
Yay! So what is Zoe Talks? Christina, could you explain to our viewers a little bit more about what Zoe Talks mean and what is Zoe?
Yes, we're Zoala. We're a tech startup company, as I mentioned, and a lot of what we do is in AI. And our buddy, our chatbot that we're building for our students and our youth, is called Zoe. And so naturally, this podcast is called Zoe Talks.
Nice.
Yeah. And so before we jump into the topic of today, which is AI in mental health, Joe, tell me, what does wwyd stand for? What does wwyd actually stand for?
Yeah, so wwyd is, like I said, a youth counseling center, and we wanted to collaborate with Zoala to see how we can merge the two together. So from our side, we kind of bring in the mental health expertise and understanding and knowledge.
And from my side, from Zoala's side, we bring in the tech and
Yes.
the AI.
So wwyd is actually an open acronym that kind of embodies the vision that we have for our clients when they come in. And in the beginning, wwyd actually stands for What's With You Dear or What's With You Dude. And it's about that whole initial process of getting to know your counselor and the counselor getting to know you, the client. And it's about finding out what challenges are you seeking that brought you into counseling, and what goals do you have for yourself that you would like to see achieved at the end of the counseling process. And then wwyd slowly transitions into What Would You Do? And What Would You Do is about that part of the counseling process where you kind of discover what are the strengths and resources that that the clients have, and building upon those skills and those capabilities. So it's about increasing your self-awareness, your mental health knowledge, and learning about new techniques and strategies that you can apply them outside of the session. And at the end, clients kind of graduate in a sense, and wwyd becomes Winning Wellness You Deserve. And that's where the clients are kind of empowered, and they leave the counseling process with this sense of ability to accomplish their own goals and to overcome challenges on their own independently, with the new skills and knowledge that they have learned from the counseling process.
Nice.
Yeah.
I really like that. And the what would you do as well? Would you use that in session as well and remind your clients, your youths in certain situations, what would you do?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
It's always about like, so all these things have happened, now what are you gonna do? Like,
Nice. Yeah, because I can see it being applied in everyday life.
Yeah.
So if I'm a youth and I'm at a party and I get exposed to underage drinking, for example,
Yeah.
in that moment I'm thinking to myself, what would I do?
Right.
Or if I need help, what would I do in this situation? Would I reach out to a friend or my mom or dad or a counselor?
Nice.
All right, let's jump straight into the topic of today, which
Yes.
is AI in mental health. So, I understand AI is a very new and upcoming thing, and it can be quite contentious as well in the mental health industry. What's your take on that?
I am a bit apprehensive because for me, I don't feel at this point AI could take the role of a counselor or a therapist. There's just a lot of social cues and nuances between human interaction that I think is best left to the real person sitting across from you in the room. But so that's just my perspective. But I understand that you guys, that's not your goal for your AI and Zoe, and how to incorporate Zoe into the mental health field.
Yeah. So it's a really good point that you brought up. And so to put it out there, we are not trying to replace people, because we also understand that, especially a person in a vulnerable state or someone that's trying to seek help. Yeah, I also personally would want to talk to a professional in person, because and we understand as well it's about also observing those cues, observing someone's expression and how they might be feeling, if they're feeling reserved about certain situation or something that they're sharing. Yes, whilst AI probably can be trained, our goal here is not to replace a person. Our goal here is to leverage tech to help support the professionals.
Right.
So using data, using certain trends, mood. Mood, but also keywords that, so Zoe's our AI chatbot. And so, for example, a student would be chatting and, talking to this buddy. And it's great because, at night they might be de-stressing or telling them about their day, telling Zoe about their day, or, something just happened at home and I need to chat about it. It's almost like, jumping on Discord or maybe on a gaming platform,
venting it out to your friends.
But instead they actually know that there is a place where it's safe. They're not being judged, it's not going anywhere, but there is something that is trained to respond and to listen to you and maybe give you some feedback and advice. And so for in your situation as a private counselor, being in between sessions, so your client might see you once a month or once a fortnight, for example. In between those sessions, being able to track maybe mood trends, fluctuations, downward trends. That's something that would also want to be able to help school counselors identify these.
Right. Okay. And I think that actually I feel would be very beneficial because, like you mentioned, I may not have the time to see one client every single week, and even between sessions, 1 week is still 7 days, and
or maybe the client might not have the money as well.
And especially for school counselors, there's only like one school counselor to like a ratio of what, like a few hundred students. So even if there are students who want to see the counselor, they might not even be able to secure a slot. So having that data in between sessions to give you insight about how the student or how the client is doing can be quite beneficial. For me as a practitioner, if I want to kind of like have a quick look 15 minutes before a session, like how they've been doing, so that I can kind of understand how I want to cater my session, because every counseling session is going to be individualized to the person, and having like their mood boards, like seeing how anxious or stressed they've been, it can kind of help me understand the kind of questions that I want to ask, the pacing that I want to go with in session. And because I don't want to bombard them if I see that they've been super stressful and things like that.
Right. So it'll help kind of strategize how you might approach that session. Nice. And so going back to like you mentioned, in a school counselor setting, they are quite outnumbered. And so being able to leverage the tech, but also that continuum of care. So if you have a team, if a counselor, for example, leaves the school, or new students come in, kind of being able to understand your students a little bit better. If I'm a new counselor, knowing, okay, who is this student that I'm seeing, and maybe what is her personality trait, or what is his current mood. Also, more importantly, if a student might have suicidal ideation, if your client might be struggling for a long period of time, this is where would flag them up on the dashboard. So they're kind of front and center whilst you need to focus on a lot of things. We bring that to your attention. So you're like, great, okay, I have a million things to do today, but this is one student, one client that I must see today.
Right, okay.
I'm going to reach out to them and address them, address their issues, or at least being able to kind of strategically place yourself, if you're an educator, to kind of be a friend.
So that would be good for a new practitioner coming in and having to face like 350 new students, and it's going to be almost impossible to see all 350 students to see how they're doing, right? And checking in on them. So it would be good kind of have like this dashboard, a very brief general analytics of how they've been doing, maybe what areas are they struggling more with, maybe it's family, maybe it's friends, maybe it's academics. But I actually want to ask you about data. How much will we see from the student when they interact with Zoe, or when we get feedback from them through the app? Because privacy is something we take very strictly and very seriously in the mental health field, and we just want to make sure that whatever they say is in a safe and secure place.
Yes, that's a really good point, because at Zoala as well, we also take privacy very seriously as well. And so I mean, that's also why we work with people like you. We have we work with psychotherapists as well, and we have a board of advisors where we're constantly also checking what we can and cannot do in this space. But from a tech point of view, we also take we take privacy, security, data security very seriously. So we everything is end-to-end encrypted. We also don't share certain things that students share on the app anywhere. For example, the chats, we can't see it. We also don't counselors, educators cannot see as well what the students are actually saying. But what we grab from that is the insights. So based on a certain question, that's where AI comes in. So if there's a certain downward trend with simple question as how are you feeling today, or there's certain keywords where AI can also recognize the sentiment behind it. Is this a negative emotion attached to this sentence or this experience that they're sharing? Is it a positive thing? So are they talking about being happy with their friends and today was a good day, or I'm feeling a bit sad about my results, my exams, or I just had a fight with a friend. So AI is able to take this context and then we extrapolate that into a dashboard, data for educators and counselors. And it's things like when a student journals on our app, or they have their SMART goals, for example, we also don't share that at all. So it's we also try and maintain utmost confidentiality as well, and so that's why we appreciate working with people like you, because then you guys help us make sure that we respect the mental health industry, the confidentiality side of things as well in everything that we build. So we'll definitely explore more of AI and mental health in future episodes and topics, and we definitely want to bring in our CTO, who also has a PhD in AI, Shamili from Zoala. And we can definitely deep dive more into what AI would look like in the mental health industry. How do we want to use this to help, and how can practitioners, how can schools use it to their full advantage, leveraging tech to help with their headcount issues, that high ratio, and using tech for the better.
Nice. And at the same time, we want to bring in mental health practitioners as well, experts in the mental health field that can share more with us a little bit about what they know and what they do, as well as parents like some of you, to hear their firsthand account of how they raise their own children in this era with AI and online and schools.
We keep it super casual, just conversation while we deep dive into some of these burning questions and these topics. So let us know what you thought of our first episode of Zo Talks. Let us know what you liked, what you'd like us to explore maybe in future episodes. And so like, comment, subscribe.
Have
a good day, everybody. Thank you.